Well, hello. It's Friday afternoon. Happy Friday afternoon, everybody. It for most of us, it is the weekend, so we get to sit back and relax this weekend. Well, weather-wise, it's actually gonna be not looking too bad this weekend. We have some very nice weather on tap for us. No watches or warnings to talk about across the Northeast right now. So we can go ahead and basically look at the radar here, and there is some scattered rain showers right now. That is one thing that's going on, and most of these rain showers are basically centered towards central and northern New England. And again, some of these are even in the form of rain, or excuse me, snow. And of course, we also got some rain and even a few scattered snow showers move through central PA. But for the most part, this is going to stay away from a lot of us, and it's very, very isolated. So this is not going to definitely be a washout. So if you have outdoor plans, don't cancel them. It's going to be a nice day. All right, so here is the most recent satellite imagery. Let's update that. Okay, so here we go. Here is those scattered clouds through the northeast. Again, it's just a little few bursts of pop-up showers, and that's what's causing all these clouds in here. There's a warm front down in here, so this is going to create some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Even some of these storms could be severe down into these regions, so we'll be watching out for that. And of course, our cold front that we're watching is up in here, and this is going to start to drift down, and it's going to give these folks through these regions some more cold weather. Um, but again, but before that, we have some really nice, really beautiful weather to contend with before we get the colder weather in here. And then, of course, there's this little storm system that's going to kind of come down and maybe give these folks in here some good rains. But for the most part, everything isn't really looking all that bad as far as weather goes. So that's the situation as far as that. So let's start. Let's just look at the models here. All right. So here's the NAM, and basically, oh, these are. So let's look at the NAM, and we'll even look at surface temperature as well. So again, here's those scattered rain showers. Nothing really major. I mean, again, maybe a few snowflakes up into these regions, a few rain showers down here, and rain showers in here. But for the most part, it's not going to be anything. Just more clouds than anything. Things start clearing out by the nighttime, and of course, here comes our first front, because again, there's going to be really two fronts that'll be moving through. There's this one, and then this is going to kind of bring in some duller cold air, and then there's another one that's going to be moving through, and that will just reinforce the cold air that we're already going to have in. So basically, you can see here is the first one. Here is the first one, and then here is the second one. So basically, we're going to have rain here, maybe some snow or rain in here, and then behind this we have some scattered snow and rain showers, and this is all heading towards the northeast. So again, there comes the first batch, and then there comes the second batch, and again, it's the second batch that could, and I have to really enforce the word could, put out some snow. And again, the highest chances of actual accumulation, well, that would be in through these regions, and again, also up into these regions of the northeast. And if there is snow in through central and eastern regions of New England, it would probably melt very quickly on contact, and it would be a very wet snow if that were to happen. But again, you can see the flow of the colder air coming down from Canada, so that's basically just enforcing this cold. And for the most part, I think after this, there's this one last shot of colder air, and that's basically going to keep things, uh, uh, well, there's going to be some cold air, and then it's going to warm up afterwards. Now here's the NAM and the temperatures, and it's just really overdoing it. It has 50 to 55 across areas along and north of the Mass Pike. It has 60 to 65 along in south of the Mass Pike. That is not going to happen, I can guarantee you. Because, again, we have a lot of cloudness through this area, and there's also a few scattered showers through here. So if it was all sun, then basically, yeah, we would have been talking about maybe some 60-degree weather today. But because we have a lot of cloudiness, not going to see that. This is definitely well overdone. Cooler weather up into northern New England, where we will probably reach into the 30s and 40s. So then, of course, we cool down through the nighttime. Temperatures drop into around freezing, and then here we go tomorrow, and even still, it might be even a little bit overdone as far as temperatures go into these regions. It shows 60 to 65 degrees for a good chunk of southern New England, 50 to 55, even close to 60 through central New England, and then, of course, 40 to 45 to maybe even 50 degrees through northern New England. Again, a little bit overdone. Here's the temperatures tomorrow, or on Saturday night, Sunday morning, and for Easter. And basically, these temperatures, again, could still be a little bit overdone, but probably a little bit more reasonable, because there will be some clouds ahead of our front that we've got. So basically, these temperatures will be kept down a little bit. And again, you can see there comes the front, and you can see this is very, very awkward. Again, it has almost 65 to 70 degree weather from from the mid-Atlantic all the way up in through southern Maine. This is not going to happen. Again, the NAM is really overdoing its temperatures, really well overdoing it. I think we could probably probably subtract 10 degrees from that, and that's what you're probably going to see. Subtract 10, and that's what you got. But this is definitely well overdone. This is not going to happen. But, you know, if other models start showing it and guidance supports it, then maybe. But for right now, that's not going to happen. Here's our cold air, though, behind the front, and you can see 30s. And if this were the case, then we would definitely be talking about some severe weather that would be pushing, or even some regular thunderstorms. We would be talking about some thunderstorms moving through the area. Not severe weather, but definitely some we would definitely be talking about some juicy rains and juicy storms, because you can definitely see the tight gradient that we have here. But for the most part, I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't see that happening. And again, here is when the actual precip comes in. And when the actual precip comes in, you can see, look at all of these below freezing temperatures behind this front where most of the precip is. You can see that below freezing, 25 to 30 degrees, even some lower 20s in through here. So, and again, you can see ahead of the front we have some low to mid 40s along the coast, and then of course we've got some low to mid 30s into interior sections of New England. So that's the NAM. GFS, and like I said, the NAM really overdid the temperatures almost too much. We're definitely not going to see 70 degrees for a while in through New England. Mid-Atlantic, it might be close to next week, but even still, it's going to be a little while. All right, so here's those scattered rain showers today. For the most part, they're going to be light. It's not going to be anything. And then there comes our first front, okay? Because like I said, there's two fronts here. One front that's going to be coming through on Sunday night, then another one that's going to be behind it for Monday. And again, it's in between those where we're going to have some precip. But there's even a possibility to see some rain ahead of the first one as well. But most of it is ahead of the second one. And then there you go. So there comes the rain. And like I said, there could be a few scattered snowflakes mixing in. on late, or excuse me, early Monday morning. But for the most part, this will probably be in the form of all rain. And again, the best chances of snow will be in through northern New England, particularly these areas where we could get a coat into maybe a few inches of snow. And in the higher elevations, a little bit more. Then, of course, there comes that second front. So you can see the first front moves out, and then, of course, our second front is starting to come in here. We got that coming in, and of course, there it comes, and you can see some precip maybe behind that one, but we'll see what happens with that. Let's see here. Okay, so again, as we move along here, you can see, for the most part, some cooler weather, and again, it starts warming up by the end of the week, because you can see the thicknesses are starting to rise, that therefore temperatures are starting to rise, and you can see definitely by next weekend things really start warming up, and that's when spring makes its official stand. By next weekend, that's when spring is officially going to be here, and no more colder air. Really, every weather maker that we'll have after that will be in the form of rain, even possibly into interior sections of northern sections of New England. So here's the temperatures, and again, even the GFS is overdoing the temperatures here today. Probably on the lower end of these, you got 50 to 55 degree temperatures. Even it's showing 55 to 60 through a good chunk of southern New England. Don't think that is going to happen. Again, overdone. Again, the 60s may happen into Virginia and southern PA today, but that would be where it would happen, where we got mostly sun down in here. This is where the sun is, therefore that's where the warmer temperatures will be. We'll be on the lower end into these areas, the lower end of these temperatures, because again, we do have some clouds out there. Not as much sunshine. Again, tonight temperatures drop back to around freezing, and then of course there you go. There's the temperatures again into the 50s tomorrow. Very nice. And then of course there's some more 50s on Sunday. And again, there comes that warm front, and again, it's ahead of that warm front that we'll have, or cold front, I mean, that we will have a little bit of a temperature difference. Now the GFS is a lot more reasonable with the temperatures. As far as that goes, I mean, the NAM was showing ridiculous temperatures. Not gonna happen. Again, those 60 to 65 to even 70 degree temperatures are generally going to be reserved towards Virginia and North Carolina. Those are not going to move as far north as southern Maine. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Again, here goes those temperatures, and again, you can see definitely much cooler by next Tuesday. And again, we stay generally neutral through Tuesday, and then we start seeing a definite notice of increase in temperature, 50s, and you can see there comes those 60s again. But for the most part, I mean, there we go. We start definitely warming up by the end of next week, and we could even be talking about some 60s next week. And these are again, and again, you can't see high temperatures this run around, because this is again temperatures at 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. So for the most part, this is morning and evening temperatures. But again, this sort of still gives you a good idea of how warm things are going to be. I mean, you can see generally that freezing line is not even making it into, it's barely making it next weekend into Maine. But that will definitely be running northward, and it will generally be stuck into northern New England. And you can see by around the 11th, notice how the freezing line isn't even in Maine. So any precip that we get around the 11th, that would all be in the form of rain from the northern tip of Maine all the way down to Florida. So that's what's going on. I mean, you can definitely see some definite warm air in the forecast. That's one thing's for sure. Spring is definitely here, and basically it's here to stay. That's the GFS. Finally, we're going to look at the Euro, my favorite model. Hopefully this shows the correct run, because I was looking at the 12Z a couple minutes or just before I started the video. If it doesn't show the correct run, because earlier it was showing the 12Z run from yesterday, even though it says 12Z today. And yes, it's now corrected, so now we can show you what's going on here with the euro. We'll also look at surface temperature. All right, so here we go. Here's those scattered rain showers today through the northeast. And then again, there comes that first front, and then here comes that second little batch of precip behind the second front. And then, of course, we move along, and there's the enforcing shot of colder air. And then, again, that moves through, and then we start seeing a warm-up by the end of next week with increase in thicknesses. Therefore, that means increase in temperature. And, of course, there you go. Spring is going to be basically here to stay after next weekend. We'll even look at snowfall, total snowfall accumulation from the euro before we look at temperature. Because again, there could be a little bit of snow, especially around in here and you know, in here and in here. But for the most part, I don't think most of us will be seeing a lot of snow. And yeah, that's what the euro is showing. Not a lot of snow. Most of the snow reserved for folks who live up into these regions of New England. Northern Vermont, northern Maine, northern New Hampshire. All right, generally 1 to 3 inches in through northern Vermont, maybe up to 6 inches into northern Maine, but that would be at most, and then maybe a coat into maybe a couple inches into the Berkshires of Massachusetts. But other than that, nothing much. Absolutely nothing much. So that's the snowfall. All right, so here's the temperatures today, and there you go, 50s. I can definitely agree with that. Tomorrow, temperatures reaching into the low to mid-50s. Definitely can agree with that. And again, there comes Sunday, and yes, you can see low to mid-50s, maybe even some areas nearing 60 degrees into most of southern New England. And again, cooler into central PA, where we do have some higher elevations. And stuff like that. And of course, this is the temperatures on Monday, and you can actually see the euro is suggesting, hey, we're going to have some low to mid 50s, maybe even near 60-degree temperatures Monday. And we do even have some very warm air in through the southern portions of the mid-Atlantic, southern Jersey, the Delmarva Peninsula, and even into the Washington, D.C. area. This shows near 70-degree temperatures. But again, you can definitely pick out where this front is. Right in here, you can see these 30s and 40s behind the front, and even these teens and below freezing temperatures. This is all coming down the pike towards us. And again, here comes our greatest shot at any accumulating snows in through the mid-Atlantic and into the southern New England region. If there were to be any accumulations, it would be Monday evening. All right, because again, Sunday evening, or actually, excuse me, it would be even then. Monday night will be into the 40s for most of us. But again, if there is going to be any accumulation of snow, it would be Monday night, Monday evening, sometime around that time frame. You can see temperatures definitely drop down to near to around freezing, but again, ground temperatures may be too warm for any accumulation, therefore probably not going to see any accumulation except in through these areas. Okay, that's really where we're going to be seeing them, into the higher elevations. And of course, you can see temperatures definitely much colder behind the front. But again, by Thursday, we start warming things back up. You can see there's those 50s and even some isolated 60-degree temperatures coming back in. And of course, there's those 50s and 60s again. And you can see, look at this, just wall of warmth. I mean, look at that. I mean, we're having 60 and 70-degree temperatures down here into Virginia and Ohio and all of these regions. I mean, it's just going to be coming north, it looks like. Yep, there it comes. 50s and 60s through southern New England next Sunday. So I hope you're all ready for that nice warm weather. I imagine you all are. And even some 80-degree weather, possibly 75 to 80-degree weather into central Virginia. So get ready for that. I imagine all of you are excited for the nice warm weather. Because I've been getting a lot of that. I've been hearing a lot of people, oh, I want spring. Well, it looks like you're going to probably get spring very soon. So that's what's going on as far as the weather goes. Spring is basically here, and I hope you all enjoy. So that's it for today. I hope you all have a great Easter weekend, and I'll be back on April Fool's Day here, and we'll sort of look at weather and things like that. But for now, that's what's going on, and I hope you all have a great rest of your Easter weekend. Take care, everyone.